welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, thanks so much for joining. My name is Misty, and today I am bringing you another episode of our Decades Legacy Challenge. As you can see, we are here with Norma, and she is very sad from a loss in the family. It says she is having some inspiration from some artistic expression, but she is embarrassed from an awkward encounter with her husband, and no thanks, she is not feeling any romantic attraction at the moment and would rather not participate in romance in any allo-romantic sense of the term. So it seems like her husband has tried to be flirty with her. It's made her a little bit embarrassed and she's feeling a little tense about it. He is having some shared sadness about that and is feeling that they had a bit of a flirty disaster, and unfortunately that did not go over well. These guys just don't seem to be hitting it off here this morning, or this afternoon, I'm sorry. It is Sunday at 2:25 p.m. on 1956 here in the save file today, and she is just out here messing around with these chickens, giving them a little bit of feed today. She is really struggling with this sadness from the loss of the family members that she's having, and unfortunately it is taking away some of her romantic feelings. Obviously she is struggling with that. I am not quite certain what has come over her, but she is just not down with it at all. That being said, she's going to go ahead and go on in here and sit down and have a conversation with the family. They are just going to spend a little bit of time together. As we know, Norma is, someone that kind of beats to her own drum in the sense that she is kind of mischievous and kind of here for being a little bit of a jokester. And now it would seem that she struggles with the romance end of things. So I think that is going to be a little bit hard on Matty. I don't think that he really understood that about Norma when he married her. I think that is going to give their marriage a little bit of some rocky ground. He probably didn't understand that about her when they kind of got into this marriage, that she was a person that struggled with the romance department, and she is definitely showing him that she struggles in that area. Yes, she loves him. I'm sure there is that camaraderie of love and friendship that she feels for him, but when it comes to the actual romance of it all, you know, she struggles in that area. And he wants to be flirty, he wants to be lovey, he wants to be hands-on with her, and she just really isn't that type of girl. She is really struggling to allow him to feel those feelings with her, and I think that is going to cause them some problems in their marriage down the line. So we're probably going to see that play out as things and time goes on in this marriage. These guys are just having themselves a little bit of family time here. He's getting a little bit of reading in, and Norma has grabbed herself some food and she's just having some conversation with her mom, and she's like, you know, I don't really know what to do, Mom. I am really struggling with Matty. You know, I understand that he wants me to be this perfect wife and he wants me to be all these things that I just don't know how to be these things that he needs from me. And I think that Gemma is not really understanding why Norma's struggling so much. She knows that they have such a good marriage and they could have such a good marriage, and she just wants Norma to be that perfect wife for Matty. Gemma doesn't understand it because Gemma obviously was very, very much in love with Liam. She didn't struggle in the romance end of things, and she just wants Norma to be this normal, loving housewife that takes care of her husband and bears him all these children and does all of the things that Gemma did. And unfortunately for Norma, it's just not that simple. Of course she wants to have a child, of course she wants to continue on the family line, but it's just really not that simple for her, and she is definitely struggling. That being said, Matty is feeling really embarrassed from the encounter that they had this morning, and so is Norma. Both of them have a lot of embarrassment going on because they just aren't really sure how to act now. So as you can see, they are kind of staying a little bit clear of one another, and they are not sure how to really act. She's hiding under the covers here, and Gemma's come on out. She's like, I'm gonna have to give these two time to just deal with themselves. So she's come out to deal with the plants, and she's hoping that these two will find it in themselves to be able to sit down and maybe have a conversation about how they're feeling and how they're acting towards one another. She's hoping they can sit down and discuss it and kind of work these things out amongst themselves. Because as we know, if you don't talk about these things, they just kind of fester and build up. Matty is going to go ahead and go on in here to the kitchen, and he is going to just clean up after himself a little bit, and then I'm going to send him on into the bathroom here. He does need to use the washroom, and then I think I'm going to have him go and do a little bit of cooking and make a little bit of butternut gnocchi, and that way the family will have something to eat. And Norma here is just going to go ahead and get into the kitchen and clean up a little bit, and she can clean up in the bathroom. There was a little bit of a mess, and do a little bit of the wash. So everyone is kind of tending to the house chores and just dealing with the things that happen around the house day in and day out. Obviously taking care of everything that needs to be taken care of here at the homestead. He is just getting supper going, and he absolutely loves to cook. I'm hoping that this might get his mind off of some things, but unfortunately he is replaying the conversation he had with his wife in his head, and he's not at all understanding kind of what happened with the conversation. He is really not understanding why his wife kind of came at him the way that she did. He's feeling super embarrassed. He's thinking to himself, you know, all I did was try to flirt with her. She rejected my advances. I'm super embarrassed by the fact that she's done that. I don't really know how to respond or how to act. And he's really feeling that... oh shit! Okay, we have a fire in the house. Mom has caught herself on fire doing the laundry once again. I am not sure what her deal is, but it seems that every time she tries to do laundry in the house, she catches herself on fire. And once again, Norma has come to save the day. So thank you so much, Norma, for saving Mom's life, because once again, we have almost lost Gemma to a disaster. What has she said? You are my hero. I promise I won't forget that I owe my life to your heroic actions. Yeah, Mom, no worries. Obviously, I'm going to save your life. I'm not going to let you burn up to death in the house. Everyone now is tense. Well, Gemma especially. Yeah. Go ahead, Matty, and go to the washroom. Obviously, after you go to the washroom, I'm going to need to get Gemma in there to take a bath because she is covered in soot. And Norma, can you go into the kitchen and go ahead and clean up that mess in there, because it is a disaster from where Matty was cooking. So everyone is just going to go ahead and take care of themselves here just a little bit, because honestly, the house is just really a bit of chaos today. It's just not going as you would seamlessly plan for it to go. We've got a lot of things that are kind of happening, and Matty's just like, what is going on in this house? Like, today is not going well. It's really just not. He is now feeling like maybe things could be okay. He's in a bit of a fine mood. He's just not sure how he's supposed to act, but you know, he's gonna go ahead and come on in here and sit down and try to have a bit of a talk with Norma. He's gonna just say to her, like, look, I just want to apologize if I've said or done anything to upset you. I don't really know what I've done wrong. I don't know if there was something that I said that was incorrect, or if I've done something to put you off, but you know, we're married, and I should be able to flirt with you. I should be able to, you know, make a pass at my wife. Like, we're married. And she's going to be like, look, I understand where you're coming from. I do. I'm just not the type of girl that likes all those romantic gestures. I'm not the type of girl that understands those romantic things or cares for them all that much. And it just makes me feel kind of uncomfortable. And honestly, I'm not in the mood for that. And he's like, fine. And so he walks away. He doesn't understand it. He can't, you know, fathom why she would be like that. They're newlyweds. They should be, you know, kind of all over each other. And she's just telling him, absolutely not. I'm just not feeling that way. And she's kind of rejected him in a sense. And he just doesn't know exactly how he's supposed to feel about it. Both of them have headed off to bed for the evening, and Gemma here is just going to go ahead and clean up a little bit, and then she's going to go on off to bed for the night as well. And hopefully tomorrow will be a better day for our newlyweds, And Gemma is thinking, how is it that these two can already be having troubles in their marriage when they've just gotten married? Like, we've just gotten married and they're already struggling. And this has got to be a Norma issue. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and see you guys in the morning. Good morning. It is about 2 a.m. and as you can see, Matty is woken up really, really tense. He is now struggling with the fact that there was a fire. It has all really come to head and he is really tense over the fact that Gemma is constantly catching their house on fire. He's stressed about it. We have Norma who's waking up really sad and feeling really upset. She is not quite sure how she's supposed to feel this morning, but she is feeling really, really down and she is really gloomy. She is really, really struggling this morning with her sadness. She is up and going to the washroom this morning, but she is not quite sure how she's supposed to feel. She is really upset by the fact that the turn of events happened the way they did the day before. She knows that they are struggling in their marriage already, that she has upset her husband. She can't help the way she is, and she knows that it's not exactly how she's supposed to feel, but she's weary about it, guys. She is absolutely weary about it. And she knows that, you know, it's not anything she can help, but she also knows that she needs to try. She needs to try to be a better wife, and she's trying, but she just doesn't know how to be everything that Matty needs her to be. And Norma is really struggling with this, and she's like, Matty, can we talk about this? And he's like, honey, I don't know what there is to talk about. Honestly, I was just trying to be flirty with you, and you took it and you were just so upset. And honestly, I wasn't trying to upset you. And then you rejected me. And then we had this big long talk about how you can't change. And he's like, I'm not trying to change you. I'm just trying to be your husband. And he's walked away from the conversation yet again. And she's just so upset. She's going to go ahead and go outside. She's going to take care of the chickens and put herself to work here so that she can at least focus on some things that can be done around the house here, so she can get her mind off of how sad she is, and hopefully she can obviously go ahead and, you know, just get some things done. I'll just get to work. If my mind is busy and my hands are busy, then obviously I don't have time to ponder all of these things, and I'll maybe get in a better mood. So she's going to clean up a little bit. She's going to take care of the chickens and all of that. Gemma is up. She's feeling really, really tense from the fire as well, which is to be expected considering she was the one that was on fire. And so she's going to go ahead and try to get a little bit of light reading in so she can calm herself down. Matty is feeling pretty confident. He's watching a little bit of television. I'm just going to change the channel here to a television channel that he is actually allowed to watch, because as we know, he needs to be watching something that they're allowed to watch in this era. We are just hoping that everything is going to pan out for the day and that everyone is hopefully going to be able to get along. I'm hoping that Gemma is able to talk some sense into Norma and maybe bring Norma into Matty so that Matty and her can kind of work things out. Maybe she can help Norma to see that Matty wasn't trying to, you know, do anything to change Norma or anything like that. He really was just trying to be lovable and a doting husband to her. Norma, unfortunately, is seeing it that he's trying to change her, but he really wasn't trying to change her. But we're just going to have to see if Norma is going to kind of let up and accept things as they are. She's come on in to brush her teeth this morning, and she is feeling pretty confident now that she has taken care of her chores for the day. And she's like, okay, I'm not going to let this sadness take over my life for the day. I'm going to get some things done. I am going to come in here. I'm going to play a little bit of music, and I'm just going to carry on about my business. And I'm going to just make the most out of the day. So let's actually go ahead and get Gemma in here practicing as well. She needs to practice for her job, and so we'll go ahead and get her practicing some music as well. So we will do that. I don't think that Matty goes to work today, but let's go ahead and get him in the kitchen making a little bit of food. That way he will at least have met his work task, which is cooking. And so he's going to go in there and just make a little bit of fruit salad, and that way there is, you know, not only food in the house cooked up, but also it will meet his work task. We've got some people in the family that are aging up, which is great. And so we will obviously need to do some makeovers for our family tree. That being said, he is just going to go ahead and finish up this meal here while the girls are in there playing a little bit of music and just spending a little bit of quality time together over some instruments, which we absolutely love. They are having a grand old time in there, just playing a little bit of concerto. And he is just in here doing his hobby, which is cooking. He absolutely loves being in the kitchen. It makes him feel really, really great. It's got his mood really confident as well. And it is Veterans Day today as well. So we will be celebrating Veterans Day. And I'm just going to go ahead and change this to Veterans Day because it's no longer called Armistice Day. It is now called Veterans Day in the 50s. So since it is Veterans Day, we will go ahead and make sure that everyone here does go ahead and meet the task of the day, and they have a thankful spirit and they can share stories and things like that so that they can go ahead and meet those goals for the day so that everyone has a pretty good thankful spirit and they can have a good holiday. I don't want anyone being sad because they have an awful holiday. On top of that, it looks like we have the option for Gemma and Norma to go ahead and become best friends, which I think would be really a good thing for them. They are obviously getting really, really close now that they live together, and I think that it would make sense for them to become best friends. They are obviously going to be very, very close with Gemma living here. When Norma finally does, you know, get pregnant and have kids, her mom is going to be living here helping her to, you know, raise these children, helping her to rear up these kids into the right way. And I think that she would obviously want her kids to be really close with her mom, their grandmother. And so I think they would have a really, really tight relationship. So them becoming best friends just makes perfect sense to me. So they have become best friends. They are now obviously talking about Veterans Day. They are talking about, you know, the people that they have lost in remembrance. They are, you know, telling war stories and being overall thankful about the fact that Norma is still here and that they have put the war behind them. And they're thankful that the war is over and they're remembering the people that they've lost and trying to get through this holiday as best they can without being too saddened by the fact that, you know, the people that are gone, unfortunately they are gone, but they're trying to remember them in a healthy way. And so they're just remembering them in the good times and trying to remember, like, yes, they've lost their family members to the war, but they had the moments that they had with them that were good moments. And as you can see, we have gone ahead and let Gemma meet all of her tasks that she wanted to meet for Veterans Day. We also have done that for Norma. She's meeting her task. It doesn't look like Matty really cares one way or the other for Veterans Day. He's like, whatever, I don't really care about it. So he doesn't really care to really do any of the Veterans Day things. So we don't have to worry about him caring about that holiday, but we do want to make sure that Norma gets that checked off as well. So we will go ahead and just make sure that she can tell some war stories here, and that way she can check that off as well. So she's just going to go ahead and talk with Matty here and share some stories with him of the time when she was in the war and tell him about, you know, when she served. And she's going to say to him, like, you're not going to understand. You can never understand, like, what I went through. And it was crazy being out there. You know, it was, you know, nothing like you've ever seen before, but it was wild. Like, it was just crazy. And I never thought that I was going to come back, you know, but I did. And I lost my twin, and I am, you know, so thankful that I was able to come home, but it's just nothing like you would believe. She's feeling super confident, and it looks like, guys, we are actually expecting. I think Norma is pregnant. She is. Norma wants children and is happy to know one is on their way. We are having a baby. We just found out Norma is having a baby. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna come over here and we're gonna share the big news with our hubby, and we're gonna tell Matty, honey, I just found out we're expecting. It says, Norma's partner took the news of the pregnancy rather well. They're open to having children and are glad to share the experience with her. Okay, that's good. The fact that he's open to having kids and is okay to share the experience is good news. I mean, it would have been great if he was like thrilled about it, but the fact that he's, you know, he's open to it is good. He's not against it, so that's good. They're still just over here talking about the war and stuff, but she's like, I am going to go ahead and tell Mom about the news because I think she'll probably be even more excited than Matty was. And she's like, Mom, I'm pregnant. And she's like, oh my God, are you serious, Norma? This is the best news in the whole world. I can't believe it. This is so great. And she's like, you are more excited than Matty. Gemma's like, I've been waiting so long to get grandkids. I am so excited. This is the best news ever. This is the best day. If your dad was here, he would be so happy. And she's like, Mom, and she's like, no, you have no idea. We always wanted grandkids. He would be so proud of you, Norma. She's like, oh, Mom, that means so much to me. So they are talking about the fact that, you know, Liam isn't here anymore and that it sucks so much that Liam isn't going to be able to be around for the grandbaby, but she's so glad that Liam would be happy that she's having a baby. And it means so much to her that Gemma thinks that Liam would be proud of her. And that alone has made her meet her Veterans Day goals, and we absolutely love that. I think that he is just a little nervous about the whole pregnancy, to be honest. I think that he is not necessarily as thrilled about the baby as Gemma is, but I think he is okay with the news. If anything, I think it's probably just first-time parent jitters that he's experiencing, and he doesn't really know exactly what he's supposed to feel, so he's just having a bit of nerves. So he's going to go and he's going to talk to Jimmy and he's going to say, did you hear that Norma's pregnant? She's going to say, yes, I'm just so excited. How are you feeling about it? And he's like, good. It's unexpected news, but I think it's good news. Yeah, I'm excited, but to be honest, I think I'm a little nervous. I don't really know how I'm supposed to feel or act, but I think that us having a child is going to be good. And Norma is just having herself, as you can see, a bite to eat here. And Gemma's like, here, honey, let me get that for you. I'll clean up here. Don't you worry your little head about this at all. And Matty's like, no, here, let me get it. I'll get it. I'll clean up after you guys. I've got this. You take care of yourself and the baby. And Norma's like, I'm gonna go outside and take care of the plants. I don't need you guys fawning over me. I'm gonna be just fine. I can still take care of myself. I'm just pregnant. I'm not gonna break. So she's gonna come on outside. She's gonna take care of the plants and the chicken coop and go ahead and scatter some feed and collect any eggs that need to be collected. And we are going to get Matty out here and just let him do a little bit of fishing. I think he needs to have some cathartic fishing time where he can just think a little bit to himself. You know, he has had a little bit of a rough go of it. He started out this episode with his wife kind of, dropping a bombshell on him with the not wanting to have some romantic feelings with him and rejecting some advances of his flirting. And now he's found out that she's expecting their child. And he's just really, I think, not sure where things stand with him. He doesn't really know what he's supposed to feel currently. I think his emotions are kind of all over the place, and he is not really sure what he's supposed to feel. He is kind of in a flirty mood. He wants to be flirty with her because, he just found out his wife's expecting his child, and it should be a time where they can be joyous and be excited and flirt with one another. But then he's like, okay, Matty and his partner are going to have a child. Lots of responsibilities involved, but they'll figure it out, is what he's feeling right now. So he's in a bit of a playful mood when it comes to the fact that they are about to have a child, and he wants to share in this mood with her. He wants to be playful with her. He wants to kind of be a little bit flirty maybe with her, but yet he knows that she doesn't necessarily like that. And he's kind of torn on how he's supposed to feel, and he doesn't know how he's supposed to act right now. So he's just not quite sure what he should be doing. So we're going to get him outside here. We're going to let him fish for a little bit and maybe just think a little bit on what he's feeling and what he could do to approach Norma and maybe make the situation better for himself, or where he can understand it, and see about how she's feeling about everything and where her mind is, because, you know, as far as she's concerned, she's thrilled that they're expecting a child. She's very happy about this news. She loves the fact that they're expecting. She loves the fact that, you know, he's happy about the news and her mom is happy about the news. And while she may have had some tension about Matty in the beginning with not wanting to kind of be really in a romantic feeling with him, overall, as far as the baby is concerned, she's absolutely thrilled that they are expecting a child. And she couldn't be happier right now. So her headspace is just over the moon right now. So she doesn't really, you know why Matty's kind of acting the way he's acting. A child on the way. Norma wants children and is happy. So she's just thrilled. She's like, Matty, what's the problem? Like, everything's great. You know, as far as she's concerned, what happened yesterday is in the past, and they're moving on. And he's just kind of stuck. He's stuck in the past, and she's just like, what was is gone. Like, that's over with. We're moving on. This is a new day. Suck it up. You know, she's over it. She's moved on a little bit. She is having a little bit of morning sickness, it looks like. The poor dear. And it looks like this pregnancy is making her be a little bit of a neat freak. So she's come in, she's cleaning up here. Why don't you go out here and deal with those chickens? She is wanting to clean up everything, so we'll go have her clean up this coop a little bit. Scatter some feed and just take care of these chickens here. I'll just throw it in the middle of the yard. Matty's like, what do you think, Gemma? Do you think everything's going to be okay? I mean, I don't know. Norma's acting like nothing happened between us. And she's like, everything will be fine, dear. Now that you guys are having a baby on the way, everything will settle down, honestly. Norma just likes to get herself all in a tizzy over things that don't even seem to matter. She's like, but honestly, everything's going to work out just fine. You'll see. You know, she probably got herself a little bit bent out of shape, but she's over it now. She'll come around. He's like, oh, huh, okay. She's like, here, let me take that from you. Here, let me take that from you, honey. I'll clean up after you. He's like, oh, well, I don't know that I was even finished. And she's like, you were absolutely finished. You were. He's like, okay. I'm pretty sure there might have been one more bite left in that, but guess I'm finished. So Gemma is just trying to convince Matty that Norma is obviously just going to, you know, bounce back and everything's going to be normal with her, and that he doesn't need to overreact and read into things that happened, you know, from the day before. That obviously, you know, what happened just needs to be overlooked, that things need to just move on forward now that they have a baby on the way. And he is really, really struggling with that advice. And I'm not sure what this means for their relationship. We'll probably have to see how it goes. I don't know if Matty's going to be able to overlook the fact that Norma is kind of back and forth and wishy-washy like she is. One minute she's lovey with him, the next minute she's standoffish with him, and I don't know if he's going to be able to tolerate that. So it may be a situation where we aren't going to see them stay together. They may end up not being able to last with a relationship like this, just because he may not be able to tolerate her being like that, because he wants someone that's all in and wants to be romantic with him, wants to be lovable with him, and she is not quite that. And she can't necessarily help that is just who she is, but he didn't really sign up for that, and he didn't really know what he was getting himself into when he married her. He thought that she was this person that wanted the same things in life that he wanted, and he didn't realize. And now he's finding out these things, and I think that we may come to find that it's going to cause some struggles within the marriage. But as you can see, he is just cleaning up a little bit and trying to get some frustration out, and he's doing so by taking it out on the bathroom sink here. And then we are going to go ahead and let him do some chores around the house here. He's doing a little bit of the wash. The ladies are in the living space, and they are just doing a little bit of painting and music practice. And he is then going to go ahead and get himself a little bit of rest. I am, though, going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And in our next episode, we will be seeing Norma give birth to Matty and her child, which will be super exciting because we will then be having ourselves our Gen 4 first child of Generation 4. But until then, I am going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.